Hello, I'm Officer Rapazo with the Sacramento Police Department Recruiting Unit. Welcome to the final video in our hiring workshop series. If you haven't seen the previous videos, please go back and do that first. For this last video, we will be talking about the final steps in the hiring process. In this video, we will be talking about the polygraph, chief's interview, psychological exam, medical exam, and the academy. For the polygraph, you don't really have to prepare for anything. Just make sure you don't lie, are completely honest, and don't minimize things. What I mean by don't minimize things is don't try to shorten a story and cut out details. Make sure you elaborate on your answers and tell the whole truth. Don't omit anything. For the chief's interview, follow the same interview tips from the oral assessment and physical ability test video. Know about our department, be able to tell your story, who you are, and why you want this job. The most important thing is the why. Why are you here interviewing for this position? Why should we hire you? Don't just memorize facts and information from the website. Have an understanding of the information and be able to explain it. For example, don't just memorize our mission statement, but have an understanding of what it means. You can learn all about our department at our two websites, joinsacpd.org and cityofsacramento.org/police. If you are successful in the chief's interview, you will be given a conditional job offer pending the results of your psychological exam and medical exam. After the chief's interview, you will need to complete a psychological exam and a medical exam. After you have successfully completed all of the steps in the hiring process, you finally make it to the academy. This may seem like the end of the process, but this is really where your journey into law enforcement begins. There's really nothing I can say to prepare you for the academy besides start working out. So I will play this video to give you a little glimpse of what you can expect at the Sacramento Police Academy.
Good morning, sir. Morning, ma'am. Morning, ma'am. Good morning, sir. Morning, sir. Morning, ma'am.
Use your ears and your mind to process the information I'm going to give you and accomplish a task as a team. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
You are going to exit this door and you will proceed to the north side of Tactical Village. You will accomplish this act as a team. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
It starts now. You better move quicker than that. Let's go. Let's go. Let's move. We don't walk here. We don't walk here.
1, 2.
Don't anticipate!
First time I had an interaction with a police officer was in middle school with the school's resource officer. She was new to the school at the time, so she was going around meeting all the different students and just saying, hey, how's it going?
I grew up in a rough area. We had a lot of disturbances in our neighborhood, so we had interactions with police officers all the time.
The first time that I can remember, I was riding my bike to school and a police officer pulled me over for having earphones in my ear and not wearing a helmet. He just kind of talked to me. He didn't write me a ticket or anything like that, which I thought was pretty cool. He just kind of talked to me, and now every time that I ride a bike, I wear a helmet.
I think that sometimes people believe that police officers are to be robots, but we're human beings. They show up here and we want them to have their personality. We'll add discipline and professionalism and poise and we'll extract that from them. But just the human aspect of this job, the ability to look at another human being and have a conversation as two humans, that's stressed here as well.
Hi, Bob. How's it going? I'm Officer Cato with the Sacramento Police Department. How you doing? I always knew I wanted to do something where I could interact with people and help people, and I did a summer law enforcement academy during high school to get college and high school credits, and it was taught by a retired police officer, and she was telling us about her different experiences that she had, and from that moment on I was like, I think law enforcement is for me.
Over the course of the 24-week-long academy, we were given rare access to film during the recruits' more than 900 hours of training.
The position of attention. I will start with your feet. Look down, ensure your toes are even and your heels are together.
Probably is easy to look from the outside, never been in an experience like this, and say, well, you're yelling for no reason, but there is a reason. We need them to go out there and not let stress dictate how they operate. If somebody yells at them outside, somebody from society yells at them, they need to be able to operate professionally at that point, and they need to be able to respond to that properly.
I taught you something, what? What's it been, a good, holy cow, 30 minutes?
Yes, sir.
30 minutes, heavens to Bessie. Couldn't remember something out 30 minutes, but you want us to trust you to get in a police car and to protect the citizens.
Yes, sir.
That makes sense to you.
No, sir.
I served 4 years in the Marine Corps. Right before this, I had a very, very ill-advised notion that this was not going to be as hard as Marine Corps boot camp. And then right when it started, I knew that I was sorely mistaken.
In 2018, the California Department of Justice conducted a review of the Sacramento Police Academy. While the review commended the academy for its commitment to training, it said instructors were setting a tone and culture more consistent with the military.
How is the academy different than, say, a military boot camp?
I think that we have to have a little more of a human approach.
Get up!
There's going to be the discipline that's demanded, and is demanded by society as well. Example would be persons with disabilities. We spend a lot of hours working on interacting with persons with disabilities, where, you know, in the military, if you took somebody straight out of Army boot camp, they may have a problem getting down on an individual who's in mental crisis level and having that conversation with them.
I can't talk to you while you hold on to the knife. Can you just please put it down, and then we'll just talk for a second, all right? I really don't want you to hurt yourself, and I really don't want to have my gun out either. Can you just put the knife down? You can muscle your way through boot camp. If you're physically fit and you don't give up, you'll make it through. But here, their standards are just so unyielding and they're so high, and you have to be on your game 100% of the time. And if you don't,
You either perform or you're gone. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
you're just not going to make it. They have no qualms about making sure that you don't become a police officer if you're not ready or if you don't achieve their standards.
I want one hole with 4 bullets through it. You understand? Yes, sir. So 1 round, pause. The next 3 rounds through that hole. Shooters ready? Stand by. Fire.
In addition to 160 hours of firearms training, recruits are required to take classes on subjects ranging from elder abuse to racial and cultural diversity.
It is very time consuming. Even on our days off, we're spending a lot of time practicing, studying, preparing for the following week. So we are missing out on a lot of time with our family and friends. So that has been tough. Just have to remember that it's a 6-month process, and then you get some of that stuff back. So you just have to remember that, remember why you're doing this, why you're here, and that gets you through it.
There is an expectation by the community and this police academy, and it is not unreasonable.
The biggest thing is integrity. If you can't be honest in this environment, you know, the fact that we're going to give you a badge and a gun and ask you to go be trusted by society, that just can't happen.
Bob, put the knife down.
Don't do it.
So I realized that I physically am not as equal to the men, but I still push just as hard as they do because you have to in this career. Whether you're female or male, you gotta have all of it. You gotta put it all in there and just be ready to do what you have to, regardless of what you look like.
19% of Sacramento police officers are women, slightly higher than the national average. 28% of officers identify as non-white, also above the national average. But those are numbers Berlinda Cato hopes to change.
It's kind of like a basketball game. If you want to change the score, you can't do it from the bench. You have to be one of the 5 on the court. You have to be in the game. If we want to make a change in law enforcement, my mom always taught us, if you want something done, just do it yourself.
I want to be the police officer where people would genuinely like or want to see.
I think actions speak louder than words. I'm not going to go out there and try to win anybody over by getting in arguments with them about why what we're doing is right or why they think we're wrong. I'm going to go out there and I'm going to be respectful of everybody I encounter, get to know the members of the community, and you just build trust one person at a time, or one action at a time.
I think that I'm surprised a lot by their drive and by their heart with some of these recruits. And they want it so bad. No matter what you throw at them, they keep coming forward.
You just got to keep pushing, you know, because you never know when it's that time in the field and you might be tired, but you still have to keep going because it could be your life.
Here are some final tips to help you be successful in the hiring process. You will be constantly evaluated. From any phone calls, emails, interviews, or interactions with SACPD employees, you will be evaluated. You need to be professional at all times to everyone you meet. In law enforcement, we are held to a higher standard, and you need to start holding yourself to that standard in your everyday life. Your jacket starts once you apply. In law enforcement, we have this term called a jacket. That basically means your reputation. It is very easy to tarnish that jacket with one silly decision. You want to have a good reputation, especially starting off in your career. Thank you again for applying with the Sacramento Police Department. I hope these videos help you throughout the hiring process. If you have any questions, please feel free to call, text, or email us. We look forward to working with you soon.